So for today's lesson, we're going to take a look at just some basic probability questions and just determine the probability of some certain situations. So first off, what is a probability? Well, the probability of an event is written as, we use this little notation where you see some parentheses there, but it says P of an event. So if you see P of rolling an odd number, that might be pertaining to dice, or you might say P of green, that means the probability of maybe picking a green object out of a certain amount, whatever that might be, but that's the specific notation we use. And then to calculate it, it's a fraction, okay? In fact, probability can be represented as a fraction, so like 1/2, or as a decimal, like 0.5s, or as a percent, right, 50%. And so we can represent probability in a variety of ways, but today we're going to look at it set it up as a fraction. So to set it up, it's the number of ways of the event can occur over the total amount of outcomes. And the total amount of outcomes we come from what's called the sample space. Essentially what a sample space is, let's say we're rolling dice, right? If I'm rolling one dice, then that means my sample space would just be simply rolling a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in my sample space, there'd be 6 total outcomes. If you're flipping a coin, our sample space, let's say flipping one coin, well, flipping one coin, your options are heads or tails. But if you, let's say, are flipping 2 coins, then the total amount of outcomes, the sample space, well, you could get both of them heads, you could get both of them tails. You can get the first one tails, second one heads, or you can get the first one heads, the second one tails. So in this one, notice you have a total of 4 different ways you can flip 2 coins. So that would be your total number of outcomes based off of what's called that sample space. So let's take a look at this example. It says a bag contains 15 marbles. 4 of them are blue, 5 pink, 4 green, and 2 are yellow. What's the probability of drawing a blue marble? Well, total amount of marbles, it says, is 15. And so if we think about our probability, the number in the event is blue. So if we kind of draw it up, it'd be probability of blue. Well, there's 4 total blue out of total amount of marbles in the bag, which is 15. So my answer would be 4 out of 15. You had a 4 out of 15 chance of that happening. What's the probability of drawing a yellow marble? Well, the notation here would be as P and then a yellow in parentheses. And then so in this case, the amount of yellow is 2. The amount of total marbles in the bag is still 15. So you have a 2 out of 15 chance of that happening. Third one, what is the probability of drawing a pink or a green? Well, if you see the word or, the word or would mean we'd add the probabilities together. Okay, so we're taking a look at probability of pink plus the probability of green together. And so if we think about probability of pink, well, there's 5 pink out of 15 total, so we have a 5 out of 15 chance for pink. Plus, for green, we have a 4 out of 15 chance for green. Notice the denominators are the same, so we can add these fractions together. So together we get a total of 4 plus 5 out of 15, which is a 9 out of 15 chance. So if we take a look at the next one, it says, what is the probability of drawing a pink and a yellow marble? Well, if you're drawing just one out of the mix, I guess if you're picking one, the probability of that happening would be 0 out of 15, right? You can't pick both a pink and a yellow if it's one pick a marble. However, I believe this problem is referring to the fact that you're picking it twice. And so if we think about these as separate situations, drawing a pink, well, drawing a pink would be a 5 out of 15 chance. But then again, reaching back into the bag and drawing a yellow, well, the word and in probability, that's called an independent event. And in this case, we would multiply the probabilities together to figure out that overall happening. The probability of a yellow here, well, if you pick one of them out of the bag here, there's going to be one less marble. So there's only 14 left, and there's still all 2 yellows left in the mix. So the probability of getting yellow on that second draw is going to be a 2 out of 14 chance. Now the probability of that happening together would be multiplying these two values together. So here, if you reduce those fractions, 5 out of 15 is 1/3, 2 out of 14 is 1/7. So when you're multiplying, remember we're multiplying straight across, and so our final answer would be 1 out of 21 chance. This is called an independent event, which you'll see a little bit more in like an FST course next year, where they dive more into that. But that's just a little taste of what an independent event is. But as far as our expectations, really knowing what dependent events are here, that's really 1 through 3. So let's take a look at this one. Here we have a spinner. It's broken up by several wedges here. It looks like there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it looks like there's 12 total wedges. So let's keep that in the back of our mind. So it says if you spun the spinner one time, what's the probability that you'll land on a red piece? Well, looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different reds. So the setup would be P of red. There's 5 red wedges out of 12 total wedges, so it looks like we have a chance of 5 out of 12 here. Second question says if you spun the spinner one time, what's the probability that it'll land on a blue piece? So again, the notation here would be probability of blue, and it looks like there's 3 blue wedges out of 12 total. Notice here we can reduce our fraction, right? 3 over 12 is the same as 1/4, so it looks like you have a 1/4 probability of that happening. And for the last question, it says if you spun the spinner one time, what's the probability that it'll land on a red or a green? And so remember, this notation here would be red or green, and anytime you see the word or, that's when we're adding those two together. So a probability of red plus a probability of green is going to be our answer here. So probability of red happening was 5 out of 12. We already figured that out for the first one. Plus the probability of green, well, there's 3 out of 12 wedges there. So together you get a total of 8 out of 12, which reduces to 2/3 probability. So you have a 2 out of 3 chance of that happening. So let's take a look at another example with dice. So here you're rolling 1 dice. We don't have the sample space in front of us, but if you roll 1 dice, the sample space is you could get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or you could roll a 6, right? It's a 6-sided dice. So if we look at our sample space, what's the probability of rolling a 4? Well, that's the 1 out of the 4 there. And so our 1 out of the 6 total choices, so our answer would be 1 out of 6 there. What's the probability of rolling a 2? Well, that's again 1 choice, right? There's 1 outcome out of the total amount of sample space, which is 6. So again, we have a 1 out of 6 chance. And then what is the probability of rolling a 4 or a 2? Well, a 4 or a 2 would be, you got 2 choices, right? Either a 4 or 2, but that's 2 out of the total of 6. And so if we can reduce that last one, we have a 1/3 chance of that happening. So now we have a different situation. Now we're rolling 2 dice. And so the sample space you can see below, you can get a 1/1, a 1/2, a 1/3, and we're treating those dice as separate. So notice these two are going to be different, right? Rolling a red dice, that's 1, versus a red, that's 2. Those are the same total amount, right? But we're going to treat those as separate cases. So we have, it looks like 6 by 6, which is 36 total different outcomes here. So if we look at our first question, it says, what's the probability that you roll of sum of 5? Well, having that sample space in front of you is kind of nice, because let's circle all the cases that add up to 5, right? Sum means add. Well, if I take 1 plus 4, that's 5. If I take a look at the second row, 2 plus 3 is 5. If I take a look at the third row, 3 plus 2 would be 5. And if I look at the fourth row, it looks like 4 and a 1. If I add those up, it'd be 5. And then the rest of them, are going to be either above or below a sum of 5 there. So it looks like we have a total of 4. 4 out of 36 total possible outcomes. And so if I reduce that, 4 out of 36 is the same as 1/9, so we have a 1 out of 9 chance that it's a sum of 5. Well, what's the probability that it's a sum of 2? Well, sum of 2, there's really only one choice, right? The only way you can get a sum of 2 is if both of them are 1s. And so it looks like there's one choice out of the total 36. Here we can't reduce, so that would be my final answer, 1 out of 36 chance. And then the last one says, what's the probability that it's a sum of 3 or 8? Well, let's circle all the sum of 3 in green here. You can get a 1, 2 or a 2, 1. And then also a sum of 8. Well, I can get 2 plus 6, 3 plus 5, 4 plus 4 is 8. And notice it's all the diagonals here. It's kind of nice having the sample space in front of us. But a sum of 3 is 2 of them, and a sum of 8 looks like there's 5 choices. So if we kind of break this up as a probability, that'd be probability of 3 plus probability of 8. So it looks like in this situation we have a 2 out of 36 chance for a probability of rolling a 3, and then a probability of rolling a sum of 8. You have a 5 out of 36 chance. So together we have a 7 out of 36 chance overall. And that would be our final answer here. So let's take a look at one more example before I have you guys try some on your own. Here we're flipping 3 coins, and we need to find the probability of flipping 3 heads, flipping only 1 heads, and flipping at least 2 tails. Well, we don't have a sample space in front of us. Let's try to think about what this would look like, right? Our options are either heads or tails for flipping a coin. So if you're flipping 3 coins, one option would be all of them could be heads, or all of them could be tails, right? The first one could be heads, and the second 2 could be tails. The first one could be tails, and the second 2 could be heads, so that's another option. We could have the first 2 be tails and the last one heads, or the first 2 heads and the last one tails. We could also have first one tails, second one heads, last one tails, or first one heads, second one tails, last one heads. And I think that's it. In fact, it looks like we have 8 total possible outcomes here. Now, a trick to make sure you're correct on this is if you think about rolling, or let's say flipping 3 coins, if you think about these as outcomes, well, we have 2 outcomes in the first flip, right? And we have 2 outcomes in the second flip, and if we have 2 outcomes in the third flip, if we multiply those together, that's going to tell you how many you should total have here. And it looks like 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, so it looks like this would be our correct sample space. So if we look off our sample space in the first one, flipping 3 heads in a row, well, that's this first scenario. That's 1 out of 8 total scenarios, so our answer would be 1 out of 8 here. Flipping only 1 head, well, flipping only 1 head would be if I see 1H in our sample space, and it looks like that's 1H, here's another 1H, and the last one, there's 1H. So it looks like we have 3 total, 3 out of 8. That would be our answer here. And then the very last one, flipping at least 2 tails. Well, at least 2 tails would mean there's at least 2 T's, or could be more. So if I circle these in red now, you could have, that would satisfy it, right? 3 tails is that's at least 2 tails. Same with this one. This one has 2 T's, and this one has 2 T's. So it looks like it would be together 4 out of 8, which in this case reduces to 1/2 probability. So we have 1 out of 2 chance there. So here's your chance to try some problems on your own. We have 3 different scenarios, and you need to find the 3 different probabilities that pertains to those scenarios. So you can pause the video and try your best on this, but we'll go over this here in a few seconds. Good luck. So in the first one, it says, when rolling a 2 6-sided number cubes, what is the probability of rolling a sum less than 3? Well, remember when you're rolling 2 number cubes, right? We have 6 different outcomes in the first one. We have 6 different outcomes rolling that second one. So together, there should be 36 total possible outcomes. And we saw that sample space from an example below or before. So sum of less than 8. Well, less than 8 would be a sum of 7, sum of 6, sum of 5, sum of 4, sum of 3, sum of 2. So I'll write those out. Well, sum of 2, the only way you can get is a 1, 1, right? So there's one option there. A sum of 3 would be a 1, 2, or you could get a 2, 1. A sum of 4, we could get a 3, 1, a 1, 3, or a 2, 2. A sum of 5 would be a 2, 3, 3, 2. We could also get a 4, 1, or a 1, 4. A sum of 6, well, I could get a 1, 5, or a 5, 1. I could roll a 4 and a 2, or a 2 and a 4. I could also roll a 3 and a 3. And then a sum of 7, which is still less than 8. I could roll a 1 and a 6, or a 6 and a 1. I could roll a 2 and a 5 and a 2. I could roll a 3 and a 4, and a 4 and a 3. So notice if I draw out all the scenarios here, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it looks like there's 21 total possible combinations to get a sum less than 8. And remember, it's out of 36. So it looks like it's a 21 out of 36 chance of that happening. Remember, we're not including the sum of 8. This is strictly less than 8. So if we reduce this, it looks like both of those are divisible by 3. If I divide 3 out from 21, I get 7. And divide 3 out from 36, I get 12. So it looks like I got a 7/12 chance of that happening. In number 2, you really have to know how many cards are in a deck and source some hidden information. 52 cards in a deck. There's 4 different types of suits, right? So if I look at this, it says, what's the probability of choosing a club from a deck of cards? Well, if there's 4 different suits, then that means quickly it's a 1 out of 4 chance, but that really comes from there's 13 club cards out of 52 total, and that's going to reduce to a 1 out of 4 chance. In the last one, you have a bag of marbles again. What's the probability that you pick an orange one? So first we got to figure out how many total are in the bag. If we have 5 green, 8 orange, and 2 pink, adding those up gives you a total of 15 total marbles. And if we're trying to find the probability of an orange, then that would be 8 out of the 15 total. And notice we can't reduce, so 8 out of 15 is our answer.